Hello everyone and welcome back to Whiz. This is Priyadarshan Babu here, your host and your quiz master. I'm here with 5 answers for yesterday's questions and 5 more brand new questions for you. But before we get to the questions, I feel I have this take on this year's IPL that almost all the teams are winning and losing in a particular rhythm so as to, even though we've completed a good, I guess, about 15 matches now, we still can't figure out who's the clear cut going to be in the top four or anything like this. I feel all 8 teams are still in it, and this is really, really good. And as most of the commentators are saying, I also believe that this year is purely a youngsters IPL. You may say Sam Curran, Shubman Gill, the list just goes on and on, but all, even Nagar Koti, you also have Shivam Mavi. So all these youngsters are playing such a brilliant role, and this is such a good stage for them to showcase their talent. So why don't all of you just drop in the comments below the name of your favorite youngster player in this year's IPL? This will be something fun to see. And now it's time for yesterday's 5 questions. So the first question for yesterday: the second and third largest consumer of wood on the planet is Lowe and IKEA. Which entity tops this list? So the entity we were looking for was Home Depot. So Home Depot is the largest consumer of wood in the entire world currently. And now moving on to our second question for yesterday: Sagara Sangamam, Rudraveena, Shankara Bharanam, Minsara Kanavu, and Sangeeta Sagar Pachasharki Gawai. Which is the sixth one in this list? So the sixth song, if you already have been able to identify, these are 6 songs. So the sixth song in this list is Ek Duje Ke Liye. And these are the 6 national awards over 4 Indian languages which have been won by the none other than S.P. Balasubramaniam. So when I read out this question, I had given you a hint as to current affairs, and that's why. So we just lost such a great musician very recently. So hope he finds peace. And this was his contribution to this, and much more was rather his contribution towards Indian cinema, Indian music. That was the answer for the second question. Moving on to our third question for yesterday. This term is usually translated as undertaker or achiever. This was first coined in the book A Treatise on Political Economy, or the Production, Distribution and Consumption of Wealth, authored by the French economist Jean-Baptiste Say. What is the word that we are talking about? So the word that we were looking for is entrepreneur. So entrepreneur is the word, and this is how it gets its origin, or this is the etymology of the word. So that was our third question for yesterday. Moving on to our fourth question for yesterday. Her birth name was Norma Jean Mortensen. Ben Lyon, who was the then head of Fox Studios, gave her the name she is known as of today. The first part of her name was based off a woman, Miss Miller, whom Ben knew, who starred in musicals in New York. She then asked if she could use her grandmother's last name, to which Ben agreed. Thus then they adopted the new name. Identify this very, very famous actress. So the actress that we were talking about is none other than Marilyn Monroe. So Marilyn Monroe was the actress we were looking for. And now for our last question for yesterday. Tony Curtis once said, "It was like kissing Hitler." After he found it very difficult to work with Marilyn Monroe, post which movie this comment was made. So the name of the movie that we were looking for was Some Like It Hot. So it's actually a good film. You should go and watch it. And that they also had a kissing scene in that, and that is why he went ahead and passed this statement. So those were our 5 answers for yesterday's questions. It's time to move on to today's 5 questions. So here comes question number 1. The earliest attested mention of this dessert is by the Greek physician Eugemius, but in the 5th century BC, who wrote a book on the art of making it. The oldest surviving work of Latin prose, De Agri Cultura, by Cato the Elder, includes recipes for 3 cakes for religious uses: Libium, Servilium, and Placenta. Of these three, placenta is the most modern one, having a crust that is separately prepared and baked. Identify this famous dessert that we are talking about. Moving on to our second question for today. Plato, in this book of his, wrote extensively about love. In fact, this remains the oldest known book till date, trying to unravel the mysteries of love. Which book are we talking about? Moving on to our third question for today. Which is the largest diamond cutting and polishing center not only in India but also in the world? So I want you to tell me the name of the place. So that was our third question. Moving on to our fourth question for today. Which is the first black and white web series in India? So which is the first black and white web series which is made in India? So that was our fourth question. And now moving on to our fifth question for today. Who was the first Scotsman to feature on an English banknote? So I hope you can crack this one. It might require a little more thinking outside the box. So these were our 5 questions for today. Hope you enjoyed them. Do not forget to leave your answers in the comments below. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. I will be back tomorrow with 5 more answers and 5 more questions. So please stay tuned. Till tomorrow, this is your host PD signing out. So please take care, stay safe, good night and keep quizzing.